So what we do is we focus on building that capability within teams, but also helping them unleash that capability.
Awesome.
And part of that unleashing the capability is the how. How do we embed it in our culture? And that's why I think then sharing the experience of Hutt City Council, who for me are an exemplar example of an organisation that has adopted properly continuous improvement. Look, the challenges that Hutt City Council faced are the same challenges almost all organisations face. Difference is Hutt City Council did something substantively good about it. So let's paint the picture of the before. This is not where they are now. They've come a long way, but resource consents process, you can imagine that there was a queue of resource consents waiting to be worked on by a team that was over capacity, overworked, doing more hours than they probably should have, but that showed the dedicated nature of the team. The team were dealing with some technological issues that were a bit aged, but certainly the process itself was too old, too aged, hadn't been adapted, and a lot of rework in the process where they were receiving applications, and many of the applications, over 80%, they had to go back to the customer to ask for more information to be able to process it. And that rework loop would often take about 2 weeks for the customer to come back with extra information. Again, a lot of organisations experience the same sort of thing, but just painting you the picture of what Hutt City Council were experiencing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know that, yeah, you're right. A lot of those things you were talking about are really, really common problems. So what you were able to do? Okay,
so with them applying the continuous improvement and starting to entrench it into their culture, the results they experienced was this. Firstly, they have a time limit for which they need to process the applications. They were meeting that time limit 42% of the time. Now it's sitting over 97% of the time. The queue of resource applications that they have, resource consent applications, was month on month over 200. After the continuous improvement initiative, they got it down to 0, meaning as soon as an application came in, it went straight to the team. Now, they've done such a good job embedding it, it's still 0 today. 9 months later, 9 months later, they've embedded it properly. Staff turnover went from 140% in a 12-month period to 6% in an 18-month period. Again, showing you how it got embedded, freeing up a lot of the team's capacity. No longer working the 50-hour weeks, getting much closer in less than the 40-hour weeks. And as bonuses, because they adopted continuous improvement properly, which means measuring your process, they had a whole bunch of new measures of performance that showed the team how things were going so they could make informed decisions, but also leadership for the first time had a really rich view of how things were going. And that helped with forecasting modelling. And the last point I'll leave you with in terms of the success story is because they embedded, they did the right thing. They started by building the capability, and because they embedded it in the resource consents team and got the wins, they were able to reuse that capability for building consents and inspections, and they had the same sort of results in those areas as well. And that's what it's all about, embedding the capability in the team.
Because that's quite transformative at the process level, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I do balk when I hear people talk about, you know, continuous improvement might be tinkering. It's transformative change, but it's doing it the right way, investing in the team, and just leveraging the power of the team. So all the solutions that were developed in Hutt City Council were developed not by me, but by the team in the work once we built that capability. But the point you were making, it's right on the money. We're talking substantive changes to make life easier for the team and the customer. That's it. Making life easier for the team and the customer. That's what continuous improvement's about.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. It's so good to hear.